Welcome back to the Monster Picker channel. We got a good show for you today. Going to talk about the 1987 action sci-fi film, Robocop. Remember this film? Robocop.
Like this?
That's it. Look, finally got around to watching this. This has been in the Monster Picker collection for years. Look, I have all three films in this one. This DVD set, the VHS set, look at this. It's all three films right there. And look, I only paid $3 for this. I still have the price tag on there. Can you believe that? Only got around to watching it. And yeah, so we're gonna talk about it. What was the movie about? You remember?
Well, it's about a police officer that got killed by a bunch of thugs, right?
Yeah.
He was heavily mutilated. They just shot the crap out of him for like a solid minute.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of guys blew off his arms and his legs and everything. And the police force teamed up with this tech company that was trying to revamp Detroit. So that they wanted to, the guy who was rising up through the company had an idea of making a Robocop. And that's what they did. He was the first one, the only one, I guess. We only saw the first one. I don't know what happens in the sequels.
Yeah, so he's killed in the line of duty, and there's also a company that builds these killer cyborgs, and they managed to save his face and head and put it into one of these killing machines, right? He's going to be one of the futuristic officers on duty. Yeah, interesting film. Stars Peter Weller. And you guys might remember him. He was in Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai, which is a good film. And what's his sidekick's name, that woman? Nancy something?
Pelosi?
I think it was Nancy Pelosi. And Nancy Allen. Nancy Allen's in it. And there's some other familiar faces. Yeah. So, yeah. What'd you think of the film?
It was cool. Yeah.
What did you like about the movie? Well, one of the things I like about this movie, like right out the gates, it comes out the swinging. There's that scene with the demo killer robot, and all the execs are in there in that office, and it malfunctions and just starts blowing that guy away, you know, shooting him riddled. His body is riddled with bullet holes and blood and guts, and people are screaming.
And that sets up the big villain for the movie.
That's
because
right.
That guy fails and somebody else takes his spot in the company, or, you know, takes the interest of the CEO.
That's
or
right.
Whatever. So.
And when Peter Weller first gets the job and he's walking through the police station, remember he goes into like the locker room, and like the men and women are all together in the locker room changing. There's like naked women and naked men walking around, like, wow, this is what it's gonna be like in the future. We're there. Remember, like, men are women and women are men now, remember? The acting is good. You know, it's got some good acting in the film, and you know, I kind of like the story. The story's good. What about you?
I think I liked all those things too.
Well, what did you not like about the film?
Well, it was some of it was a little dated. You know, the big robot that Robocop has to fight.
Yeah.
It's like the claymation stuff, so it looks a little weird. And how did he destroy it? He like let it downstairs, and then it couldn't walk, and then it fell, and then it was done. That was a little stupid.
That was pretty dumb.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that was it. It was a good movie.
Yeah, the stop motion, and you know, I wasn't crazy about his. I guess she was supposed to be the sexy sidekick. It wasn't very sexy, and you know, after that first nude scene, which lasts a half a second, there's no naked hot babes. Aww. You know, and yeah, it was just the stop motion special effects. It just, you know, it wasn't very very dated. At the time, I'm sure this was amazing. If I would have saw this, you know, 40 years ago when it came out, my impression would have been a little bit different, my feeling about the film, but you know, hey, it's 2023, now I watched it. And that female lead is boring. She's boring, it's like silly. They show her, when we first see her, she's beating up like all these dudes. It's like, come on. Even back then, like more woke jokery, you know? Get tired of that, right?
Yeah.
So it even started all the way back then. But when I was watching this also has deleted scenes. Yeah, even this is, you know, if you haven't seen this movie and you really want to see this movie, I recommend, you know, look, get this DVD set. You can probably find it on eBay for like $8, and it's got all the extras. The quality was pretty good. We watched it. It was very watchable, the picture quality. But I think there's might be 5 or 6 deleted scenes, which watching you're like, they really didn't need this. But there was one scene, because remember there was a guy during the film who comes out and says, I would buy that for $1. He's like,
oh yeah,
he's always doing the commercials and stuff.
That's what I liked about the movie.
That was another cool thing about the film.
That's what I liked.
Well, there's a deleted scene of him where he's like in a pizza parlor, and he's got these naked women, and their breasts are hanging out, they're bouncing back and forth, and he looks and he goes, I would buy that for $1, you know. So I'm like, why did they throw that scene in? That was a cool scene.
I just want to know what that show was supposed to be.
So now's the big question. Now's what you came here, what you want to know. Monster Picker, what do you give the movie? Scale 1 to 5, 5 being the best. What is your rating? Please tell us. What do you give it? 1 to 5, 5 being the best. What do you give Robocop?
I'm trying to remember what I gave.
Part man, part machine, all cop.
I gave Judge Dredd. What did I give that, a 3? Well, if Judge Dredd was a 3 or a 3.5, I guess this is a 2.5.
Ooh, 2.5. Wow. Wow. 2.5. You know, obviously I've given this one some thought. Oh gosh, Robocop. What am I gonna give this? Robocop. Scale 1 to 5, 5 being the best. Robocop. Robocop. What do we give it? Gosh. Oh man. We're gonna give Robocop. Robocop. You know what? I'm gonna give this movie a 2. A 2. Look, I gotta be honest. You know, this movie, I am grading these movies or evaluating them through the lens of today, not the lens of 30, 40 years ago. I gotta look at them, you know, these movies, compare them to things today. I give this movie a 2. It's watchable. It's not a good film, not a great film, but it's watchable. If there's nothing else on, you can watch this. There's some value from viewing this movie. There's some good things in this film, but overall, it's kind of dated, and yeah, like you said, it's not as good as Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's it.
It's kind of what you expect.
Yeah, pretty much.
Underwhelming.
Yeah, that's right.
It was entertaining though.
Yeah, definitely entertaining. Well, any final thoughts? Anything you want to say to the Monster Picker audience there?
No, not really. I don't have a whole lot to say.
Well, thank you for doing this interview with me.
I'm ready for bed.
I appreciate you doing this interview with me.
I just stayed up watching Robocop.
Yeah. You sure don't want to watch part 2 and 3 right now?
Well, that'll certainly help me sleep.
Well, there you got it, folks. Anyways, thank you for watching, and stay safe.
This is humiliating. Whatever you do, don't record. I don't want anybody to see me like this. Somebody call the Puppy Protective Services. Now, help me.